This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, welcome to Icons and Circles. This is Consul Aneta Blan. For tonight, I have invited two lovely ladies with an international flair. And we could call them women of the world in a very positive sense. And tonight we have Ms. Karen Volksang Beltran, wife, mother, businesswoman. Her husband is a prominent figure in the media scene, and that's Cito Beltran. And our other guest is Yevgenia Yushkova, and she is of Russian origin, now American.
Correct.
Okay, welcome ladies to Icons and Circles, and I know that you're icons in your own chosen field, you know. I think you're multitasking with the titles that you have given to yourselves as wife, as a businesswoman, entrepreneur, you know. I think you shine in the respective fields that you have chosen. Okay, so we're celebrating the International Women's Month, and I thought it appropriate to invite you and for you to talk about your passion, your advocacies. So, Karen, would you like to go ahead and tell us? You've been here in the Philippines for 26 years.
I have. I originally came to work for a German garment company. Then I met my husband, Cito, here. And the rest is history, as they say. 26 years later, I'm still here.
You call this home?
This is home now, yeah.
Right.
I've lived here longer now than I've lived in any other country in the world, and I've lived in quite a few, including Holland, Netherlands, my home country. But 26 years is nearly half my life now, so it's been a long time.
All right, yeah. So you've kept yourself busy. I know that you have done so many...
I've done a lot of things.
All right,
yeah.
Maybe you can share with our viewers.
Well, as I said, I originally came here to work for a German garment company in the heyday of the garment industry.
Garments.
Yeah, garments, clothing, coats, jackets, a lot of different things. Then after a couple of years, my company wanted to send me back to Germany. But by that time, I'd met Cito, and I also had no interest in going back to Europe at that time. So I looked for another job here, worked for 3 years in a company exporting cosmetic bags. Then I worked for a buying agency who helped foreign buyers buy various products here, including garments, handicrafts, furniture. But unfortunately, the Philippines got more and more expensive in comparison to other Asian countries.
Right.
So those, our buyers were the lower end ones. So they went off and bought everywhere else in the world.
Even though the quality of the work here was much better, it's still the price.
At one point or another,
the bottom line.
The bottom line is the price. Design you can buy, quality you can inflict on people.
Right.
But at one point or another, it's a price. You know, basket is a basket. It's still a basket, no matter how beautiful it is. And our buyers, admittedly, were the buyers who were catering to lower to medium end. So there was just a limit to what they could afford to pay. So after I watched that business go slowly down, 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 till it was in our spare bedroom in the house, then I closed it down completely. So I took a couple of years off and kept myself busy, giving craft classes, sewing classes to children mainly, mainly from international families.
Right. But I know one of your advocacies is you help expats settle down in the Philippines.
Yes, that's one thing I'm coming out of semi-retirement now, among others putting up a business helping expats settle into the Philippines, because after 26 years,
you know the
I
ins and
won't say I
outs.
know everything, but I do know a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And when you travel to a strange country, and all my life I've traveled to strange countries. As a child, we lived all over Europe.
And you were
We were
just
always the
telling
new
me that
kid,
you were
yeah.
born in South Africa,
I was born in South
grew up
Africa,
in Germany.
lived in England, in Belgium, in Germany, in England again, back to the Netherlands, and then in the Philippines. So I was a new child in school for a long time. I was a third culture kid before the term existed. So I empathize with people who have to move because of the husband or mother's business or job, which has actually changed. Talking about women's International Women's Month, when I first came to the Philippines 26 years ago, there were very few women expats. I only knew, apart from myself, one or two. But that has totally changed. You find a lot
Except for those, of course, in the diplomatic corps.
but even then, you didn't have, back then, you didn't have many women diplomats. A few single ones, but very few married ones. But now you see more and more women where the trailing spouse, so the spouse who is coming along as the husband. So before you had to help a wife move in and move to a new country easily. But nowadays you have to worry about the husbands who came with their wives, who made a decision to leave their jobs or whatever they were doing, and to move with their wives to a new country. And that's a different set of challenges. Huh?
Yeah, well, I'm sure it was very, very difficult. It's still difficult nowadays, but with the internet, you know.
Oh, those things have become much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when I came, my first flight to the Philippines was more than 24 hours.
Oh, was it?
Now,
from Europe?
From Europe. Now I think PAL can do it in 15 hours.
Yes.
Yeah. And even KLM, when they were flying non-stop, it was 13 hours.
Yes.
And that's a huge difference. Huh? So things have changed a lot. Then you paid $1 something an hour, a minute, to make a phone call to your family.
Yes.
Mail took 3 weeks. Now you pick up Skype and you can talk to anybody you want to for free.
Yes.
So it has changed. It's really great. It has changed.
Right. And it has helped a lot, even with our migrant workers.
Of course.
Or with like Jenya here, whose family is back in the States, and you still keep in touch.
And Evgenia is actually now running her business.
Through the online.
Her business in the States.
In the States,
right. And Jenya is practically new here in the Philippines, not even a year.
Yeah.
And you've gotten some pointers from Karen.
Yes.
A lot of pointers.
Karen's been really helpful. I mean, she really helped show around how things are around the Philippines and how do you really settle in and where do you go? Simple things, where do you buy flour? You know, the things that you get used to and so forth. So it's been really great and helpful to have a support and a friend like this by the side.
And Karen, you've been doing that. I mean,
yes, I've been doing it as a freelance for a couple of. Well, I've always done it informally, of course. You know, whenever you meet people, you help them. But I've been doing it for a while, freelance for another company. But we're thinking of setting up my own company to do that now.
All right.
Especially now, there's such an influx of foreigners.
Yes.
Manila is a melting pot of nationalities. Like Evgenia is originally from Russia, by the way of the U.S. And when I was growing up in Europe, I was saying that you didn't meet anybody from Russia because the Iron Curtain was still stuck down there in the middle.
The Iron Curtain.
And that has changed. So now I've met people here from Mongolia, you're the consul for Belarus. That was a country you never heard mentioned before.
Exactly.
Well, it probably wasn't a country 25 years ago.
Yeah, it was part of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and I've met Russians here, people from Eastern Europe.
And when expats get together, they tend to compare notes or to share also their good and bad experiences.
Of course.
Right.
Of course,
But you help out in such a way that they could avoid some potholes.
Yes, because my
Falling
attitude
into
is there are
them.
good things and bad things everywhere. And if you know you're going to be somewhere for 2 years, you have to also embrace the good things and make the most of them. If you just Manila isn't unfortunately one of the good things with the traffic and the pollution.
Yeah, the pollution.
It has advantages, but it has good things too.
Yes.
But then if you know that there's a lot of traffic and there's a lot of pollution, then make sure you get out on weekends and go see beautiful beaches. Being from Northern Europe, we have beaches, but nothing compared to the beaches here.
Right.
So you have to really go out and make the most of that.
Well, it's a pity that unlike in Holland, you have the beautiful bike lanes,
Yeah.
safe, secure,
Yeah,
you
you have
know.
that in Europe. Yeah.
All right.
And you, well, you see more and more people biking here,
right.
but I honestly wouldn't.
Yeah,
think
unless
that's,
you have a death wish.
Well, yeah, that's because the motorists aren't used to it. But you
Yeah.
do see people, more and more people biking here and taking motorbikes to beat the traffic. So you have to embrace the good things, and there's so many good things. I mean,
Well, for one
sunshine.
thing, yeah, for one thing, people are very helpful.
Oh,
you
people
know.
are incredibly helpful.
Very helpful.
People are
and,
helpful, and
Very
they're
warm.
and they're always smiling. I, you know, I don't know about the States.
Do you ever
but-
get used to it? Because a lot of foreigners, you know, have a difficult time getting used to the Filipinos smiling. Because they say, why are they always smiling?
Well,
you
it
know,
can
why
get
are they always
irritating.
happy?
You know,
Yeah.
if there's a disaster going on and you're feeling really bad and you're
Yeah.
trying to deal with something serious and everybody around you is still laughing.
Uh-huh.
But on the other hand, it's so pleasant. You know, I worked practically my whole time here, and people come into the office in the morning, even after 2 hours in traffic, pollution, jeepney, they would still be cheerful when they arrived in the
Manage
office.
to be cheerful.
I mean, if I'd been stuck in a jeepney for 2 hours, I don't think I'd be that cheerful.
I know, or even waiting
Yeah.
on the road, you know, for a
yeah,
ride.
Yeah. And then when I go back to Europe now, I actually have the opposite. I feel that they're also grumpy. You know, it's and complaining. And when you have the comparison to a country like the Philippines, where there still is so much abject poverty, and people still smile,
Right.
and you go to Europe, where everybody is relatively
Comfortable.
and spoiled to a certain sense. There's a huge sense of entitlement because we've had so many decades of prosperity. That then I find it rather irritating in Europe, where people are so well off and they're not cheerful or thankful for what they have. It has a lot to do with the weather too, I must admit.
Yes,
you know,
yes, that's true.
There's always sunshine.
Right.
Sunshine helps, you know.
Sunshine, even if it's rain, there's still sunshine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway, Genya, okay, so you've been here for a couple of months, and so far, what is your experience here?
Well, honestly, we are
Living, you
just-
know, having
yeah,
lived in Russia,
living in Russia
US,
half of my life, living in the U.S. living in half of my life, and now arriving to Philippines. I mean, everything the Philippines has to offer is just incredible, and again, the warmth of the people and the wonderful cultural things and how family oriented they are. It's really a pleasure to be part of that environment.
Because I think that is one of the good traits of the Russians. They're very
Yes.
family oriented.
We are.
Also.
Yes, we
And
are.
I also like to welcome your mom,
Thank
Evgenia's
you.
mom, who came to visit her in the Philippines, and she's also enjoying herself enormously.
Yes, very much, to
Right.
the point where she's like, I want to stay here. I don't want to go back. and that's pretty much, I think, where a lot of people do get experience by moving here for
But
a short
baby,
period of
you-
time or
you
the long
moved here
period of
because your
time.
husband is working here.
Yeah, for his
Right.
work, correct.
But you're also a very independent woman.
Correct.
And you have established, you've worked in the fashion industry,
Yes.
which is your passion.
Yes.
And you have worked your way up until you
Correct.
established your own
Brand, yeah.
fashion business.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
And so the way, I mean, to be a fashion designer was my dream since I was 4. And I've always thought that I always wanted to, as a final goal, have something of my own that I could give back to the community, give back to the women especially. More like a vision of what I have, of what the independent woman should be. I don't believe in a cookie cutter type of a lifestyle. I think every woman has, same as male, as men and the kids and children, but women especially have to really be independent and strong for themselves and stand for
Which a
who they
Filipino
are.
woman is.
Which as a Filipino woman is, and I think that's another great appreciation that I have for that as well, because the women that I meet here are very strong, always have an opinion of what things are and how they should be, and they really know who they are for themselves, and that's the most important part, is just to feel confident about yourself. And to really portray that and carry that image with you, throughout the day.
Well, you do have a very interesting concept that your fashion business is based on.
Correct.
And that is to be versatile.
Versatile, and it's created also the women on the go. And the most important part is with every garment that you get, you could do gazillions of different styles and outfits, because it is a convertible pieces. And that was designed.
We do have some pictures that I think we can post also.
Oh, great.
Yeah, okay,
And
go on.
the mowing concept for that exactly, it was designed for the time that we have right now in existence.
Okay, so these ones are some of the shawls that
Yeah,
you
some of the
came
shawls
up,
that we
that
came
you
up
can
with.
wear around your neck, around your shoulder,
Yes, you can wear them as
an
a halter top, as
accessory.
an accessory, as a
Right.
cardigan, and things like that. And they are created for this particular world right now in time being, because we all are busy women who don't have time to go home and change. When we go from office, we run
Right.
to
So
meet
this
with
is
the
one of your
girlfriends.
creations.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, it
this
is.
one,
It
right?
is one of our jackets that actually converts into a skirt and a crop jacket, and
All
then you
right,
can wear
or a
it in
mini
reverse.
skirt. You just take off the
You just take off the
the
middle
leggings.
part, yes, and it becomes actually, it drops down, it becomes a nice length skirt, and then a crop jacket. You can wear it in the reverse. So
Alright.
you pretty much out of that one jacket, you get 6 different outfits. Because then you
Okay.
can mix and match them wearing as a suits if you reverse one but not the other.
All right.
Yeah. This is one of our dresses as well that also converts, and then it converts, like the shawl part can be detached, so you can wear it as a tank top or
Alright.
tank dress, or you could wear it as a shawl that kind of goes over.
All right. Oh.
And then this is one of our, again, the shawls that it's a cardigan, silk cardigan that you can just wrap around your neck and wear it as a scarf.
Okay, so all these ideas that you have implemented it in your creations, right? And this is available in the States right now.
Yes, it's available in the States. It's available online as well. You could get them on through our online store. We're working on eventually bringing the brand to the Philippines because we really love the country so much, and we want to actually base out of here as well. So we are slowly branching out and finding the ways of bringing the brand into the Philippine culture, and be able to offer it and share it with the world.
And I think Karen is helping you out with
Yes.
trying to source out about patterns, sewing, this and that. Right?
Correct.
So-
We collaborate together on many things of what we could do and how we could get everything established here, and really, how can we bring it into the
And also
present it.
probably look at the local textile materials that we have
Yes.
here.
And this is
and,
what I'm
and
learning.
Try to
Yes,
put,
yes.
like a good design, because we could have good products, but if the presentation,
Correct.
That's
and
it.
the design is not there.
And
so-
what I think what the really great thing about it is that being in U.S., we don't really realize how many things are really done still here by hand, and they have not lost the touch and then the uniqueness of the textiles, and they dying still with using the natural of different organic grasses and
Right.
different vegetables, and I
The
think that
fibers
is
too.
what's important to bring back to our fashion, to our consumers, because we are all have already seen so much mass produced, and everything is done as quicker as possible, and
Yeah.
it's all becoming chemically influenced and everything.
Right.
So I think it's really important to bring that culture back, into the quality product, and to really bringing have the people really work on something, and so the piece that you get, it actually means something.
Right.
It really has.
No,
the,
well, I have to say this, but whatever we have, we Filipinos, we take them for granted.
Yeah.
And it's a pity that it's the foreigners who find appreciation in what we have, that in what we take for
I think
granted.
that's true all over the
All
world.
all
over.
over the world.
To somebody from the Netherlands, I take tulips for granted because they're
They're everywhere.
In springtime, they're everywhere, and they're cheap. Huh?
Right.
Whereas
right,
here,
right.
they cost an arm and a leg, and there's something
Right.
special. So
Yeah.
that's true all over the world. But I agree with Evgenia, because when you're using the local materials, the local methods of manufacturing, you can also bring employment back to where
Exactly.
small barriers,
Yes.
small cultures.
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about textiles from the Philippines,
Yes.
and then you were mentioning earlier the textiles from Ilocos.
Yes.
And I know
Tabel.
that, and there's
Yeah.
still embroidery, there's still piña being produced in Caticlan.
Yes.
So there are areas, and these will probably never be mass market.
Yes. No.
But brands like Evgenia's, it's perfect. It's a perfect fit, huh?
yeah.
And will bring more appreciation to the product itself, as well as employment for the people, which
Well,
is
that
which
is the basic.
which is
that's
essential, especially for
right.
women. As you were saying earlier
Like
as well,
just-
the women in the Philippines are pretty strong. I remember when I came, I don't know how it was for you, but when I first came, I expected this to be a very Spanish society, a very macho society. And I was amazed about the number of working women. And I think statistically nowadays even, there's very little glass ceiling in the Philippines in comparison to other countries. Women can actually rise quite high, even in the corporate world.
Yes.
But so women are a very powerful element of the society.
Oh, well, all right. We'll just be taking a short break, and we'll be back and talk about also what you women do and give the international flair and the local setting, the Philippines. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.